Hey, how are you all, Kanitra? Hey, Joe, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Thanks for clearing some time to be with me. Hi, Drina, how are you tonight? Hey, Facebook fam, how are you all tonight? For those of you here who are not aware, we're filming on two platforms at the same time tonight. So if you see me looking down or looking elsewhere, that means I'm just looking at the other platform. So you can watch it tonight from Facebook Live. Hey, fans. Hey, people. Hey, brothers and sisters in Christ. Or you can watch it from YouTube. So either way, so that's what's going to be happening tonight. So may God add a blessing to what's going to be happening on this evening. Hi, Ebony. How are you this evening? Good to see you. Hi, Mary. How are you tonight? Great to see you all on the evening. I'm really looking forward to this particular devotion tonight. Just brief side note. Hi, Marie. How are you? Just a brief side note. If you all haven't been doing this, check out Monday nights with Sister Alice or Sister Allison. She's doing a phenomenal job on Monday nights. Pastor Beckley, the pastor of this fine church, is on every morning at 7:14. Monday nights is Allison. I'm on Tuesday nights. Nothing on Wednesdays. Thursday, Joshua is doing a phenomenal job. And Friday, Sister Alice is just amazing. So if you all have any need for any devotion, or you just want to hear from different perspectives, it is phenomenal. Take a listen to it every morning. Pastor Becker does a fantastic job just letting God use him and just developing and just giving the word. So check it out at 7:14. If you can't get to it right away, they're recorded so you can listen to it anytime on your lunch break. It does me a lot of good. Hi, Leslie. Hi, Virginia. And again, in the evening times, if you like to be a part of the discussion, take a look on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Sister Allison, Sister Elisa, myself, Michael, Joshua, and Sister Alice is on Friday nights. Just a little side note, a little plug there for our 7:14 devotions. They bless me, and I know they bless you all. Hey, take a look at Genesis chapter 39. Genesis chapter 39, we're going to look at verse number 1 through 11. I want you guys just to kind of get familiar with this particular young man here at the time. His name is Joseph. Some of you have heard of this, some of you have not. But take a look at Genesis 39, verses 1 through 11. And I want you to think about this before we even go into this passage. Think about a time when somebody lied on you. And I need you all to talk back to me tonight. Has anyone ever had a time when someone explicitly, deliberately, on purpose, lied on you? Yeah. How did that make you feel when somebody lied on you? Didn't make you feel too good at all. As a matter of fact, it didn't make you feel next to, depending on what the level of the lie was, it could have caused you a lot of harm, a lot of pain. Sometimes it could have caused you hurt. That's right, Angelica. It could have caused you a lot of hurt. But moreover, it could have moved to you losing a relationship. Sometimes it could have moved to you losing your job. Some cases losing a marriage, a friendship, all because of a lie. And in some strange sense, when you're lied on, you kind of want the truth to come out. But it seems like that truth sometimes takes a long, long time to get there. When you take a look at this passage, you're going to see that the truth does eventually come out, but it takes a long time to get there. And even before the truth comes out, Joseph has to deal with the lie, knowing he didn't do anything, knowing that he's innocent, but he has to go through a process while dealing with this lie. Let's read the passage and then we'll go a little further. Here it is, Genesis 39. And Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, brought him of the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down thither. And the Lord was with Joseph, and and he was a prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master Egypt. In the house of his master the Egyptian. Verse 3. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and the Lord that the Lord made all that he did prosperous in his hand. And Joseph found grace in his sight, and served him, and made him overseer of the house that he put into his hands. And it came to pass from that time that he had him oversee his house, and over all that he had, and that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had in the house and the field. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not what he had, save the bread which he did eat. And Joseph was a godly person and well favored. And it came to pass, verse 7, that all the things his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, Lie with me. But he refused, and said unto his master's wife, Behold, my master worth not what is with me in the house, and he committeth all that he hath to my hand. There is none greater in his house than I, neither from me but thee, because thou art his wife. Because how can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? And it came to pass that she spake to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her. And it came to pass about that time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house therein. And she caught him by the garment, saying, Lie with me. And he left his garment in her hand and fled and got him out. May God add a blessing to the reading of his word. Here's a little backdrop. Joseph, at this particular point, has been sold into slavery. Joseph had been sold into slavery by his family. All right, this happens prior to this particular passage. What Joseph is already experiencing at this particular point was the effects of being lied on. You remember Joseph and his family. His brothers were jealous of him. His brothers were so jealous that Joseph was so favored, and he had this coat of many colors from his dad, that Joseph was lied on by his brothers, while his brothers took his coat, ripped it in half, poured some blood on it, threw Joseph in a pit so that he was sold into slavery. How hard could it be to be lied on by the very people who say they love you? And this is what Joseph is experiencing. So he's already experiencing the effects of being lied upon by people who love him. But God is still with him. And so when we meet Joseph here in chapter number 39, Joseph now is been bought out of slavery by an Egyptian man who was pretty high up, and his name is Potiphar. And what Potiphar does is he notices that this slave, or should I say prisoner, because sometimes we use the terms one of the same, especially in America. This particular slave or prisoner has something special about him. He is favored by God. You see, no matter where you are in life, whether you've been lied upon or not, people cannot deny the favor of God on you. Are you following what I'm saying? You see, there's sometimes when people just don't like you, don't want to be around you, they want to hate on you because they notice there is something special about you. It is not that you've done anything wrong. It is not that you are in the wrong. It is not that you are bad. You're false, or something's wrong with you. It is the fact that the favor of God shines upon your life and people hate it because it's not them. As the term goes, don't hate me because you ain't me. But unfortunately, that's just what some people do. And so Joseph has been hated on. He's been thrown into a pit, And now, as he's moved out of this pit and into slavery and moved into Potiphar's house. While he's inside of Potiphar's house, Potiphar noticed the favor that's on him. And because he's in Potiphar's house, he's working at this minimum, next to low rate. Potiphar recognizes that good things are happening because Joseph is here. So he places Joseph in charge of a number of different things in his house. And while he places him in charge, those things begin to get prosperous. You see, sometimes people don't know all that it is and all the reason why they attracted to you or why they have you there, but they do know that you have something inside of you that makes things go well. And so while Joseph is in this house, there is another individual, happens to be the master's house, Potiphar's wife, who looks at Joseph in an inappropriate way. And what she tries to do is she tries to get Joseph caught up in a scandal because she wants to have her way with Joseph. Now, here's the problem. The problem with Potiphar's wife is that what she is attracted to in Joseph is not a physical or tangible thing. Even though it says that, what I believe is that Potiphar's wife is looking at the fact that Joseph is favored. Joseph has the hand, it appears that he has the hand of God on his life, and she is attracted to something in Joseph. And what she tries to do is she tries to get that out in a physical way. Nonetheless, it's inappropriate. Joseph recognizes this. Why do I bring that up? You see, sometimes people will make connections with you and they don't or can't quite understand what the connection is for. And so what they do is they result back to their default or their barbaric, their thing that's been trained to them, and they try to force you into the connection that they know. So in other words, you're connected with them so you can bring them to their next point in life. You're not connected with them so you can be their next ex-husband or wife. Or you follow what I'm saying? So she looks over and she looks at Joseph and she tries to have his way. And as the story goes here, Joseph says no. She continued persistently, and Joseph says no. As a matter of fact, when she cleared the house out and tried to get him caught up in a scandal, something to put on TMZ, something to put on the news, Joseph fled the house, left her there. Joseph dealt with integrity. And I just stopped by here tonight in Genesis chapter 39, verses 1 through 11 to share with you, to continue on functioning in integrity. It may seem at times that people are lying on you, and it may seem at times that people believe the lies, and it may seem at times that the lies seem to be more hurtful, they seem to be more prevalent than the actual truth, and people sometimes listen to a lie before they listen to the truth. However, continue on in integrity, just like Joseph did, and continue on doing what you know to do, because in doing so, you're going to continue on your path that God has already predetermined for you so that you can move on to greatness. Now, here's the thing. Regarding Joseph, Joseph is on his way to a palace, but Joseph is going to prison before he goes to the palace. So Joseph moves from being sold into slavery from a pit to Potiphar's house, which is where he is now. And then he moves to prison because nobody really believes him right away until a long time passes by. And then he moves from the pit to second in command in the palace of Egypt. And because of his position in Egypt, what he's able to do is he's able to get all of his family and an entire nation out of a tough situation. And this is what births the children of Israel, the nation, as we come to see in the book of Exodus and on through there. What am I saying? I'm saying your life's journey right now may seem like it's taken a stop at the pit. You may have been lied on or not shown love by your family, and you're in a bad place. You may have seemed like you've moved up and got favor while you're in Potiphar's house. Nonetheless, people are still hating on you in the Potiphar's house. Keep your integrity just like Joseph did. Keep doing the right thing. Keep on praying. Keep on trying. Keep on doing what's right. And while you're doing those things, even though it doesn't look like it's going to happen, know this: you're moving to the palace. God, I thank you. I thank you tonight for this marvelous opportunity to study your word. Please continue to use us, guide us, lead us, order our steps, Lord, even now. In the name of Jesus the Christ, we pray. Thank you now, and bless all of those who are here. Lead us through our week. We love you and we bless you. Amen. Hey, thank you so much, Mary. Thank you for being with me tonight on Facebook. Thank you, Angelica, so much for being with me tonight. Hey, shout out Lisa. Thank you again. I really enjoyed that devotion on Monday. Angelica, thank you. And thank you all so much for spending time with me. Hey, leave your comments. Let me know how you all, if there's anything you guys need clarification on. I'll be more than happy to go back over it in the comments later on. But again, I appreciate you all. Erica, great to see you. Joseph, man, I'm always blessed to have Joseph on the line with me. It's been a fantastic opportunity tonight to share God's word with you. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening, all right?